welcome everybody to our recap of 2017's WWE Payback pay-per-view, the Raw specific brand pay-per-view. Mike, it was a interesting show to say the least. I think we discussed this last night when we had myself and you, and let me go ahead and bring her in here as well, the quote-unquote sexy wife. We all discussed who was going to win, who wouldn't, put our thoughts in on it, and I think it kind of equaled that C+ we talked about.
Oh, I think it's stretching to make that C+, Chris. I think I've taken better shits than that pay-per-view.
It maybe a solid C without the plus. I don't know. It's in that range.
Yeah.
It's in the range of a C- to C+, depending on which matches you're looking at and how some of them turned out. I don't know. I don't remember which match or which ones y'all picked on all of them, but I was keeping track of mine. I ended up going 5-3, including the pre-show match with Enzo and Cass in the club. So, did you keep up with how you guys did?
All I heard was the sexy wife called it. The sexy wife called it. That's all I was hearing all night long.
And she called the most important match of the night too. I'm not going to say which one it was yet. I'm gonna leave it for later. But yes, right there it was.
Still not happy.
It's okay. It's okay. We can't make everybody happy, but we do try to make myself happy if we can, though. So that's all that matters. Anyway, we're going to get started on this recap show. We got somebody on hold about to come in with us here in a minute. Mr. Tim, if you'll continue hang on just a second, I'll bring you on with us in just a moment here. But the pre-show we got was Big Cass and Enzo versus the Club. Now, I personally thought, as much as they've been screwing Cass and Enzo over, they wouldn't get no win anyway with this. But I guess with the way we should have looked at it, being that it's a pre-show match, it didn't really matter anyway, really, did it? And nobody watches the pre-show matches hardly. I'm not sure why I tuned in for it, other than just to hear Enzo talk on the mic. That was probably it for me.
It wasn't a really like a horrible match. It wasn't the worst match of the night by far.
No.
So it was worth a watch. Enzo and Cass are always entertaining. I do believe the sexy wife enjoyed it. Sexy wife, did you enjoy it?
I did. I thought it was a good match. Nothing over the top, but it was good.
Now, Chris, do you think we should get the opinion of the sexy Tim?
Well, I was just holding out for a second. What I was doing, I was holding out, and I'm trying actually to bring him on as we speak. I keep hitting the button to bring him on. And there it is. Now it is. Now we have on the phone with us now. Mike, you want to introduce him again?
Ladies and gentlemen, from San Diego, California, it's Tim.
What's up, everybody? How you doing?
We are doing.
Right.
Doing with your impression of the pre-show match.
I actually did not watch the pre-show because I was at work when it happened, but I really had no interest in it anyway, truthfully.
Well, it wasn't a bad match. I think the best part was still the Enzo on the mic talking and everything. But it was not a bad match altogether. It ended up being Enzo and Cass winning, although I really thought the Club was going to cheat them out of it some other way like they usually do, but that didn't happen. But we'll go ahead and move on to the actual pay-per-view now that we have everybody on the phone and ready to go here. First match of the night has a little bit of extra meaning to me here because the whole night we were doing this, watching it, I was on the computer and I was tweeting out and Facebooking. I had this little program that would hit all my stuff at one time when I send something out. So every message I send hits Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the same time. So I put out there Austin Aries and Neville with their match because they're the first match out there and who may win, who's going to take the title. Put your little hashtags up and all that good stuff. And Austin Aries actually retweeted my tweet tonight, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. That's pretty cool. But the match itself was, I thought, a very good match. I am learning to like the 205 Live more and more each week, and these two guys are a big part of it that make me like watching it when it's on every week. They put on a great match, and I truly thought Austin Aries, which I called, was going to win the title. He was on the way there, and then we get some old classic heel move, grabbing the referee and throwing him down to get disqualified. So technically, for those of us who picked Austin Aries to win, we were right. but he did not get the belts. So, Mike.
Well, yes, Austin Aries did win, although I would like to point out that Chris has no idea what matches in chronological order were, because Jericho and Kevin Owens was the first match of the pay-per-view.
No way.
Maybe you should have spent less time face tweeting whatever the hell you were doing down there, and more time actually watching the pay-per-view.
Do you know what it is? You know what happened? Here's what happened. Last night when we discussed these, I wrote them down in a specific order, and I just realized that I did not change them back around. I just put a dash at the end of it and put the actual winner. I did not change the order in which they came. So
you're killing me, man.
Look, I'll tell you what. Look, Mike, guys, I'm going to plead ignorance. I'm still so happy Alexa Bliss won. I just can't help myself. I didn't put the order due to that. I didn't put it.
Chris Adams, do you know what happens when you forget Chris Jericho was the first match of the night?
You just made it up. So shit.
Wow. I'm a stupid idiot. What can I say?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know what to do from here.
Anyway,
we'll backtrack. We'll talk about the 205 Live match first. It was a decent match. It started off slow. It progressed. It got better. I was actually getting pretty invested in it about the time that it ended. I like the ending personally. Like you said, classic heel move. It was refreshing to see some old school, wrestling perspective into the new school era, we'll say. Now, Tim, go ahead.
Honestly, for me, it's the same way. I'm a huge fan. Austin Aries and the Devil are, in my opinion, two of the best wrestlers they have, period. I mean, those guys are incredible, and it was cool to bring back the old school. Have you noticed that? They're starting to do that a lot more. Where they're starting to bring in, like, the older guys. They're starting to bring back more of that old school feel a little bit to certain things, They're starting to get a little dirtier. They're starting to get a little more aggressive again. I think they're eventually going to transition back to TV14. But I like the way they're doing it. They're kind of leading us into it, not just going like they did before, where basically it went from white bread to basically F-bombs overnight. So I'm good with that. I like it. I really do appreciate the Neville character. I like what he's doing. He comes off just the right way. I love the swagger. I love the way he does it. I think it's great. I'm a fan of him. I like what he's doing right now.
Well, I will have to tell you, actually, Mike had to say, we need the wife to jump in here and put her input in on what she said last night compared to what happened tonight. So let's hear it for the my blunder, my mistake, but still go ahead and cover for me here. What happened with it?
I thought it was a good match, and I mean, last night I said that I thought that Austin Aries was going to win. But it was a really good match. I was interested in it, and I think they're taking it like a step in the right direction with these two. And I think that they can definitely show that they've got more skill, and I think that they're using them in the right way. And I just hope to see even better things between these two.
Well, the build-up is definitely there, no doubt. So that's good to see. It's always fun to see a good story built up, and then in the end, get the people to see what they want to see there. So I think ultimately we're going to see Aries with that title around his waist. Maybe not tonight, like it didn't happen, but there's more to come, and I can see him getting it one day soon here, especially. So,
SummerSlam.
What was the? Exactly. I'm thinking SummerSlam. That's the next big thing coming up, and I can completely see them dragging it out till then for sure. So.
Why not?
Absolutely. So, what was the next one in order since I have screwed this up already?
Well, why don't we talk about Jericho and Owens?
Let's go with the actual first match. I mean,
yeah.
Drink it in, man.
Y2J, the gift of Jericho. We were talking last night once again, and I said last night I had actually changed my prediction. Earlier in the week, I think I said Owens would win. But I thought about it throughout the week, and last night I said I'm going to change my prediction to Y2J because I think they're going to have him move off of Raw into SmackDown to make room for some of the other guys on Raw to be out there and kind of make a name for themselves and get some more airtime on there, such as a Finn Balor Club kind of move and everything. plus that would give Jericho a chance to go over there and have one more thing with Kevin Owens and lose the title back to him once more, then have his time for his Fozzy tour and everything. So actually ended up getting that one right, which I was happy about. It was a good match. I liked it. I liked Jericho getting all, just pretty hard on Kevin Owens there and smashing that hand up like he did in the steps. I mean, took it to him. No mercy on him at all. And made it where Owens just couldn't do that pop-up powerbomb. He couldn't hold him right. So then seeing him tap out to the walls of Jericho. It's kind of funny, though, if you think about it, guys. That one pay-per-view where is that one finger in – if you remember, Jericho said he's put that one finger on the list because of what he did. That's how he got out, with one finger on the rope. So he addressed the one finger that was on the list tonight. What could you say?
Well, Chris, Jericho is a phenomenal competitor. All around, one of the best, probably right up there at the top of his generation. And tonight it just showed that he could still go hard and he could still go strong, put on a great match, work with just about anybody, really. And I loved seeing Owens tapping out to the walls of Jericho, because when was the last time you saw anyone submit to Chris Jericho?
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All righty. So let's move on down the line to Timmy.
Yeah, for me, honestly, I was actually expecting more out of the match. I do like the way they did it, though. The way transition and stuff, and the way they decided. Ah, damn it. Hold on here. Give me a second.
All right, we'll just go to the section.
All right. I'm there. Okay. You guys there still?
Yes.
All right. I had a Bluetooth thing and it was like reverbing on me. All right. Here's the thing: is that for me, I was hoping for more out of the match, but I thought it was really well done. Those two are such good storytellers, and yeah, you're right. Chris Jericho, in my opinion, may be the best of his generation. There's not a whole lot of guys that can compare to him. From the whole aspect and the way he's able to just change and move with the times and stuff. The man's brilliant. Now, me personally, because everybody knows that he's going to take some time off, I'm not sure why title on him anyway. Why ruin the run for Kevin Owens just for a blip, just to give Jericho yet another title for like a week or two? It just didn't make sense to me.
We think it's more about getting on SmackDown than actually giving him the title. As a way to move him to the roster.
Just a transition a way to get to SmackDown, to get to the roster, and then lose it right back to him here soon. It might even be on television where he loses it to him. Not necessarily a pay-per-view. It was just needed to get him there, basically.
Yeah, but you don't even need Chris Jericho on SmackDown.
It's not that they need him on SmackDown, though. It's just that they don't need him on Raw. And they're going to do something with him story-wise to go ahead and give him that time off to be that part-timer that he needs to be to go do that Fozzy tour. So maybe the SmackDown schedule works better with his tour than what the Raw schedule does. Maybe they want to get him over there to make room for some of the other guys on Raw to get on TV more and not to put Jericho on the back burner or anything. There could be a number of different reasons, really.
Yeah, you got a point, I guess. I just think to myself, I'm like, that makes sense to me, because I didn't quite understand why to give him the title shot, or to give him the title, when everybody knows he's leaving. But I guess that makes sense. That way, when he comes back on SmackDown, he a huge pop, everything. It's actually a really good idea in hindsight.
Yeah. Yep. Sexy wife input.
I think it was a pretty good match. I was happy with it. I was definitely happy with the outcome. I think it was great to see somebody tap out the walls of Jericho. But I do agree that getting Jericho to SmackDown is definitely going to open up on Raw.
Yeah, I think one of the things we're going to see come out of that is going to be a thing between The Miz and Finn Balor. That's going to kind of pop out since he had that confrontation tonight. I think that'll be the thing that steps out and takes the spot that Jericho may have had on television, and they'll run with that. I can't see anybody else taking that spot right now other than him. So he was just filling in tag teams and stuff, just to get on the air. It seemed like, or doing interviews, and that was it.
Now,
So
this is my
now
thing
he
with
does.
This is my thing with Finn is he doesn't have that Jericho charisma. You know.
But he's over with the fans,
him,
though. I mean, it's a different kind of thing. The fans are really into him, especially when he does that Demon Balor look. I mean, right now it's all about the Balor Club, and we still don't know what direction they're going to go with the Balor Club yet. Are they going to go Balor Club like Bullet Club? Are they going to be Balor Club as in it's something new and it's just a fan club of Balor like Jericho has the Jerichoholics or whatever?
Well, you know, Chris, the sexy wife would sign up to be the chapter president of the Balor Club.
Is that so?
What? Yeah.
Does Finn Balor know this yet?
No,
she thinks Fergal's hot.
I don't care what his name is.
Fergus?
No, that's Supernatural.
Fergus.
Fergus.
Somewhere, I don't know where he is tonight. Hopefully he's listening. I'm sure he's not. There's a Teddy Long who's crying right now because not too long ago we were told that Teddy Long's on our show. I think Teddy Long is sexy. That's all we heard, Mike.
That's all we heard.
And now it's all about the Balor Club. So,
well, she never did say that Balor was sexy. Now she did say Teddy was sexy.
Teddy Long is sexy, huh? Good for Teddy.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
He's dancing right now. Can you see it? little dance he does on stage. Looks like the Icky Shuffle or something.
It looks nothing like the Icky Shuffle.
I'm just saying. That's the first thing that comes to mind. He's doing his end zone celebration dance. I mean,
oh my gosh.
What was next? Let's get the next matchup here. I want to say, I'm going to take a guess here.
It was the tag
match? The Hardys and Cesaro and Sheamus?
Yes.
You guys already know what I think about the Hardy Boys. I made that pretty evident when they snuck into WrestleMania and took those belts. I didn't like how that turned out. I didn't like how it went. I made it publicly known across all the social media platforms how much I hated them. All I've been hearing ever since then is, "Ooh, delete. We want the broken Hardys. Delete." Well, congratulations, Marks. You got the broken Hardy tonight because they look pretty broke to me at the end of it. They won the match, and we actually did call it. Against my best judges, I didn't want to, but I figured they would. And they won it, and they kept their belts. But like we said last night, it was prime time for these other two guys to step up and beat the broken crap out of them, and that's what they did. Left them laying and left. So, Mike, what was your thoughts on it?
The match itself, I wasn't really all that impressed with. The sexy wife pointed out a couple times where Matt Hardy really struggled to pull some moves off. You know, Sheamus and Cesaro are a couple big dudes. Sheamus is a big dude in particular. So the match itself wasn't all that exciting to me, but the aftermath was. I enjoyed seeing that heel turn. If you really want to call it a heel turn, they still didn't act real heelish on the post show. They were more like exuding a confidence and a charisma like we haven't seen for a long time out of them. And it was refreshing. It was great.
But it was kind of like that Four Horsemen arrogance in a way too, if you think about it. Arn and Tully, like Arn and Tully on camera talking about how great they are and high-fiving each other, and it's all about the Horsemen. Well, in this case, it's all about Cesaro. I'm sure they didn't call themselves that. I forget who did that. Was it in that question and answer thing they had with that reporter? They were calling him Cesaro. Actually, they called him Cesaro, and Sheamus pointed out, I believe it was, or Cesaro did, that should be Cesaro. That's what we're going to start calling him. From this point forward, they're now known as Cesaro. If we got to put up a Breezango, we're going to have some Cesaro.
Can we just call him Chorizo because that sounds tastier?
Well, if you're wanting to eat up Sheamus and Cesaro, I guess you can call them what you want.
The sexy wife may want to eat up Cesaro because now she does think Cesaro's sexy. So Timmy, the wife has a thing for a bald guy, so watch out when we come to San Diego. She may try to.
I'll make sure to shave it nice and clean.
You know.
All right, we're awful people. We're getting off track. I know. Tim, your thoughts.
Hey, what's up?
I said
Honestly,
your thoughts.
This the thing is that I like what they're doing with that whole thing. I love the ending of that match because I've always wanted. I actually like the heel Sheamus character. For me, I've always liked him much better than because he looks like a heel. He walks like a heel. He talks like a heel. He acts like a heel anyway.
Oh yeah, he's a ginger.
Yeah, and then there's Cesaro. I want to see him in that role because I'm a big fan, as you guys well know, and I'd love to see him come off as a cocky badass, which is what he is. So I love it. I think that if they do this right, they're building the correct storyline. So yeah, I was down with everything with that thing. And yeah, I did notice that they were kind of struggling picking up those big boys because, well, they're big boys, you know. So that's it for me.
Moving on down the line here.
I thought it was a pretty. I'm right here. It was an okay match. I wasn't really that excited about it. The ending was much better. The aftermath was much better, and I hate to admit that, but I think it was better than the entire match. I don't know. I have a really tough time watching matches where people struggle to pick the other people up, and I know they can't help it, but I have a really hard time staying focused on matches like that. And when it's that evident, it's just, I don't know, it kind of kills it for me. But I wasn't really super impressed with the match.
Did you guys notice the near botch that, I don't know if it was because of Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy being out of place, one of the two, but Jeff Hardy was about to climb the turnbuckle on Cesaro. I said Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro's side where Sheamus was about to get up there at. And then he turned around and walked back toward the other way, and Matt starts pulling Cesaro back around to the other side. Or was it Sheamus? I forget which it was now. Anyway, they go to the other side. They were going to try and pull off that. I forget what Matt Hardy calls it that he does before they do the Swanton Bomb. Twist of Fate, I want to say. But they almost botched it that one time, and there was another near botch earlier as well, it looked like. They pulled it off, but there was another near botch they had, like just minutes beforehand. I don't know if that's their lack of time wrestling with each other, or they don't have a great feel for each other yet or something, or if it was just them botching it or something. But it wasn't very smooth in some parts tonight for sure. And then looked like Jeff Hardy might be taking a visit afterwards to a dentist there. Did I hear correctly? They say he got his teeth kicked out.
If you watch the replay though, he kicked him in the chest, but it looked really good. It looked like he kicked him in the face, but to me it looked like he kicked him in the chest. It was just perfectly played, you know.
I didn't see it. I missed it. I heard him say it, but I missed it.
I agree with Tim. It looked like a perfectly placed chest kick. Smells like an angle to me. And not Kurt.
Oh, I just missed it. I was wondering if it was true or not because I did miss it. I didn't see that replay when they come back for the talk on the Raw talk thing they had afterwards. I missed that as well. So, but I figured you guys would have seen it for sure, so that's good. Okay, so not really true on that. But that brogue kick at the end, though, whenever they were beating him down, he was pulling Jeff Hardy into that turnbuckle when he had both arms wrapped around him and was yanking him into that turnbuckle. That one last one with the brogue kick looked vicious to me, though.
That was awesome. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. You know, I thought it did. It looked great. It looked like, you know, it did the exact function that they wanted it to. It was played perfectly. I loved what they did there. You know.
Yeah, and it definitely worked for me. Definitely. So moving to the next match, I think that was let's see, a tag match. Then I believe it was a women's title match. Wasn't after that?
It was your girl.
It was. I'm playing dumb. I knew what it was.
Oh,
I was just building up to it. Just building up to it.
Yeah.
That's right. Just building up to it. So I think what we'll do, we're going to go out of order this time because someone had some disparaging things to say last night. Made me feel kind of bad almost. And I'm sure this person has come around to the right line of thinking tonight and has nothing but great things to say. So we're going to start off with the sexy wife first, Erica. So please, go ahead. Go ahead.
I have got to say that was probably one of the most boring matches of the night. The second most boring match of the night. I just was completely disappointed. And you know what? I called it. I knew Alexa was going to win. And I don't want to say it, but she probably deserved to. But Jesus Christ, that match was awful. Neither one of them did anything at all. And I don't think Bayley can wrestle at all. Like, as much as I hate to admit it, it looked like Alexa carried the entire match. It was awful. I just wanted to stop watching. It made my eyes hurt.
Mike, that was almost as painful. Hold up,
wait,
Mike, I got to see.
Sexy wife.
What?
What? Alexa Bliss is the greatest. Say what?
No.
What?
No.
Mike, that was her rundown of that match was almost as painful as that middle finger picture that was sent when I asked what you guys thought about the match. I mean, there was no face tied to that, so I can't say who actually did it. I have my suspicions though, because Mike's hand usually, well, in pictures, have looked a lot bigger than that. So I'm just saying, it wasn't him. And I don't think it was the kids. I'm pretty sure of that because their hands are a lot smaller. So, just with deducing these facts here, I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to say anything. We'll leave it at that.
You know who it was? You know who it was, Chris?
Who it was?
And his name is John Cena!
Well, if you ask the crowd, they say he's rather feminine anyway, so I think
I think, dude, that guy's got some big old ham hocks. You kidding me? Let's face it. You know?
Hey, look, we've seen his hand swing back and forth enough. We know when we can't see him, that was not his hand in that picture, okay? No. Anyway, moving on, Mike. What was your thoughts on the match?
You know, it was a horrible match. I agree totally with the sexy wife. I have come to the conclusion that Bayley cannot wrestle. She can drop an elbow from the top rope, and she can do 2 suplexes. But other than that, Bayley is horrible. I don't know. She has no gimmick. She has no talent. She has all the charisma of a Girl Scout, and she brings nothing to the table. She absolutely brings nothing to the table. Alexa isn't the greatest wrestler of all time. That's, you know, we all know that belongs to Charlotte. Well, you know. No. Yeah, Chris, I know, Chris, you like her booty, and that's okay. That's fine. But at least she has, and even the sexy wife admits this, at least she has some mic skills. At least she knows how to get some heat. And she actually can wrestle. I have seen better matches out of Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Tim?
And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all he got to say about that, Tim?
Yeah. I was happy with the outcome. And, yeah, honestly, I was a fan of Bayley when she first came up. And then every time I see her, I just see her screwing something up. And, yeah, she's not very good in the ring. And you're right. She's got the personality of a wet sock. But I do have to give her credit for one thing. There was a running knee that she did. In all honesty, that looked vicious.
Yeah.
There was a running knee she did, and I'm not kidding. That was a savage looking knee. And I was like, damn. You know,
now come on, Tim. If you can't hit a high knee on an opponent that's 5 foot tall, you can't do anything.
Oh well, it was like a running like low knee thing. It was really well done. I thought it was really cool looking. That's just me, but that was like the highlight of the match. Besides Alexa, you know, and that sexy booty having to raise the victory. You know, having her arm raise the victory. Yeah. Yeah. Not a good match, so you're right. Not a good match.
Boo, bad match. That's like a D plus match. D plus, not the worst. Not the worst. We're getting there. Oh, we're getting there.
Can we just say that was for last? Because barf.
I gotta say, you guys are just, I don't know what y'all are on. I mean, are we all smoking the wacky weed tonight? I mean, have y'all been popping some downer pills? I mean, this was excellence of execution in this match here, all the way through, from beginning to end.
You wanted to execute them in the ring?
So maybe it wasn't the greatest match, all right? I don't think that these two have, I don't know. If you think about this, in SmackDown, other than Becky Lynch, I don't think they said that Alexa Bliss had good chemistry with anybody. It had to be Becky Lynch or nobody at all, because whoever else she wrestled with over there, they said didn't give her a good match. They had said that her and Bayley had a good history, though, from NXT, and they thought they would be a good pairing with each other. And I don't know if it's the fact that they haven't maybe wrestled with each other in a while or what the case may be, but it was not the smoothest match. It was not the greatest match. Of course, I like the outcome, but it was not the best match of the night by far. And I don't know. There was a couple of stuff there I thought was really good. I thought Bayley was going to win the match when she dropped the elbow. Honestly, I thought it was over with at that point. I was ready to concede, say, well, maybe next time. I was surprised to see her kick out of there. I did wonder at one point, though, when she hit her head after Bliss kicked out, or she pushed her forward off of her when Bayley was trying to sit on her for that pin. And then when she hit her head, did it look like to you guys, it's either a very well executed move, for all kayfabe purposes, or she actually smacked her face against that post. One of the two. That looked like a really big hit. I mean, it's your camera's right there on it. I mean, she's just head first right into that thing, it looked like, but I couldn't really tell if she had got her hand in the way in time where she wouldn't hit the post face first or something.
Let's look at it this way, Chris. The way that she was trying to pin Alexa Bliss and the way that Alexa supposedly kicked out, I'm sorry, but Bayley was the one that had to throw herself into that corner. There is no humanly possible way that Alexa Bliss was able to do anything from that position. It was horribly botched. Bayley botched it. And
and I'm not trying to suggest
she smacked her face.
Right, and I'm not trying to suggest that Alexa Bliss threw her forward either. It was just that she was supposed to make a kick out. She made the move to kick out, and Bayley threw herself forward. And I don't know, I thought maybe she was supposed to hit the bottom turnbuckle, but missed it and hit the post instead. And I thought, wow, was that a botch? Did she just nail herself in the face on that post? That looked pretty rough. I thought it was over with at one point, and that was going to be it. End of story and over with, and I was really surprised. So now we have the record-breaking, record-making Alexa Bliss has been the SmackDown champion and the Women's Raw champion, both now. Did you like the picture I sent out? Did you guys like that? It was a blissality. No. It was a blissality. That was awesome. That was awesome.
I saw that.
It's not my work, though. I got to admit, I got it from somebody else. Thank you to whoever you were that did it. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. But that was something else. So we got one more time here just to go ahead and put it out. 5 Feet of Fury has won the belt as the women's champion tonight. Moving forward, next match, we got Chris well out of order. So, Mike, what was the next match? Was that the Bray Wyatt thing?
It was the House of Snorers match.
Okay, yeah, now we can have some fun with this. Oh, my good Lord. What in the world did we watch? Did you guys see the video that I shared that someone sent me?
No, I didn't see it.
It was a cell phone video of the arena in dark so you could see the Titantron, and the crowd was booing and yelling, boring, boring, as they were fighting in the house. Somebody else had tweeted the only way to win the match was Dr. Loomis was going to come out and shoot somebody off the balcony and have them fall to the ground. It was terrible. What was the whole point of this? We sat here and wondered for weeks, what is a House of Horror match? What's it going to be like? How corny is it going to be? Is it going to be as bad as we thought it was? And it was that.
It was worse.
10.
It was absolutely.
10.
Do you know what it was, Chris? I figured it out.
What was it?
Nancy Pelosi must be on the WWE writing staff because we couldn't find out what the House of Horrors match was until we got to see the House of Horrors match, just like we couldn't find out what was in the ACA until they passed the ACA. So it was an absolutely... I mean, good God almighty, the tractor running backwards, Randy Orton pulls up in a limousine, getting out, and here's this house. And who knew that Bray Wyatt lived in San Bernardino? I mean, and he was dark. And he needs some damn, he needs some damn Mary Maids down in that bitch because that place was filthy. It was like the roach coach.
Tim, correct
horrible.
us if we're wrong here. Correct us if we're wrong, Tim, but when they had that match there in the dark, mind you, was it not daylight at your house?
It was. There was very much daylight in my house.
I mean, I thought it was. Just confirming. Maybe there was an eclipse.
It didn't turn dark until actually right after the pay-per-view ended. So,
it was like 7 o'clock, 6:30. Tim sitting out going, damn, it's dark in San Bernardino.
It was terrible.
There's the eclipse over there. What's going on? Honey, look out the window. Don't look directly at it, though.
Everything about that match was awful. Everything.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
And
honestly,
go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say, since I told you I was tweeting crap out all night long, I actually tweeted. Now I hope to God they see it. I tweeted to the WWE, Triple H, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. I should have done Vince McMahon too. I left him off of it for some reason. Congratulations on the worst concept of a match ever of all time. You know, this sucked. You know, and people just, you could tell the crowd despised it. They hated it. And then I thought for sure, whenever they came to the ring finally, and they finally showed up, you know, they had a match in between it, mind you, because they didn't have time to drive to the arena. When they finally had their match and finished it, and the lights come on, Randy Orton is behind Bray Wyatt, and I thought, oh my God, they're going to make it even worse. They're going to RKO right now, and the crowd's just going to go ballistic because all they saw in that match in front of them was one RKO and a pin. Everything else was on the big Titantron.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Movie of the year? No, I don't think so.
Not even the B movie of like the night. That was just terrible.
It was an F- match.
You know what it reminded me of for real was the old WCW vignettes they used to do. Remember those? With like the
Dungeon of Doom.
The Dungeon of Doom.
Just
somebody
terrible.
else said.
I was like,
yeah. Somebody else said they wanted to see them fight when they reached the basement. They hoped they fought through the wall and ended up in the Dungeon of Doom. on that set.
I was actually hoping Sister Abigail would come in and show up. Now, here's another question. Why did the lights go red?
Oh, who knows?
Did anybody catch that?
We don't know. Just like we have no idea how it was dark. It makes no sense.
There was nothing about that match that was like, okay, that worked. I mean, I'm watching them and they're sitting there with the tiles. Like they sort of like, hit him with the tile, hit him with the tile. Something. It's just bad.
We can all agree. We can all agree that the guy that came up with this and wrote this is the same guy at WWE headquarters that signs his name with a pink crayon.
It was just the worst concept for a quote match ever.
I can't see what they got out of it. I mean, I don't. Why would they put? Oh, but yeah, the better question is why would they spend weeks upon weeks building this up to have people wonder what it could be? What kind of contraption are they going to have in the arena? What was going through the people's minds in the arena when the match was coming on when they didn't see no kind of contraption built anywhere? And they're wondering, what's this House of Horror match they're going to do? I don't see nothing like no cage to drop down or anything. What are they going to do? Are they going to fight in the back?
Chris, you know this isn't the first time. You remember the gobbledygooker, right?
Oh, man, we try not to.
I would rather see the gobbledygooker again, for real. That was terrible.
But I will say this. This is the last thing we'll say about this match. My 4-year-old, Mr. William, he was watching this with me. And he looks over and he says, Daddy, this is stupid. Daddy, this is the worst match ever. Whose house is this? Whose house is this, Daddy? This is bad.
From a 4-year-old.
From a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old.
That's an upset right there. That's an upset right there.
Man, it was crazy.
Couldn't even scare him with the hanging doll babies. He's like, Daddy, those are fake.
Now look, there was one person who was sending messages to me on the Facebook like page who said that he kind of liked it because it reminded him of some of the old school things because his kid really liked it a lot, and he said it was great for the kid. Which I said, if they were trying to please kids, congratulations, they did it, because it didn't do nothing for me as an adult and a wrestling fan. But he said that it reminded him of what they did like with the boiler room brawl they had and those kind of things. I don't even think it was that good. I mean, I get what he's trying to say with it, but even the boiler room brawl had more to it than what this did. It felt more realistic.
This was a step back in time. This was a pre-recorded segment followed up by an in-ring segment. What? Why?
It was. I don't know, man. Hopefully they learn from this and never, ever go back to that way again. That's all I can say. It does not work. Just
right,
please,
Chris,
WWE, do not. If you do listen to us, like Mike says, never do that again.
They will. They never will. They never will.
So we're down to 2 matches now. 2 matches left,
yes,
right?
The sexy wife's favorite male wrestler of all time, Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins.
Samoa Joe! She said, Samoa Joe, shake that belly. Shake that belly, Samoa Joe. You didn't know this. You didn't know this, but Mike was recording you, and I heard you say that on that end over there. And I was laughing. Laughing.
I will say this. I showed her an old video of Taz versus Kurt Angle, and I said, see, this is what Samoa Joe's trying to be. Now you understand.
He's a definite spinoff of Taz.
Well, you could just show her the stuff from TNA and show her what he could be. Because that was he was a beast there.
He was, but now they're trying to repackage him as Taz 2.0. He got the cow. He's got the rhythmic entrance music. It kind of sounds like a heartbeat. But my wife, she loves Samoa Joe. She loves them big old Samoan man titties, and we should just let her talk about this match.
You know what? We should just move straight to her for now. Yes, go ahead. And it's on you now. Let's hear it.
I was not impressed with Samoa Joe. I mean, it has nothing to do with his physique. I mean, I realize he can't help that. But I am not impressed with him as a wrestler. I cannot help it. And I think that they build him up to be this big monster when really he's not. I just don't think that he is that great of an athlete. I'm not saying he's not skilled. He's just not as great as they try to make him out to be. But the match was a pretty good match overall, and I'm happy with the way it ended.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're looking for out of a match, because really and truly before WWE, if you go back to Samoa Joe's Ring of Honor days and his TNA days when he took on the likes of AJ Styles all the time, and when he took on Kurt Angle in TNA, when he had matches against CM Punk in Ring of Honor, all these past times, he was I think he was a little bit smaller at the time too, was he not? If I'm not mistaken, he wasn't quite as big in the gut, quite as round.
With CM Punk, yeah, but by the time he was doing the Angle stuff, no. He was
but when he was fighting AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and people like that, Christopher Sabin, he was not that bad of a guy at that build at that point, and he would just tear things up. I mean, he was like the Samoan submission machine, they called him, didn't they? All these different submissions he had, the different suplexes, like Taz, the different suplexes he would do and everything. He was just a monster, it seemed like. Not the Braun Strowman kind of monster that we're used to seeing on WWE, but he was a dominant force in the ring, though, and a very big fan favorite, really. I mean, because of how rough he was in the ring, all the different types of moves he pulled out. The best thing he's got going, I haven't seen him do it yet in WWE like he did it in NXT, unless I've just missed it. And that's where he puts him up on his shoulders and he drops down with him. I forget what he calls that move now. It's been so long.
Muscle Buster. It's
the Muscle Buster. Yes, thank you. I have not seen that in a
Great
while.
move.
That's his best move.
Yeah,
but
it's a great
I'm still waiting to see that debut on Raw one day. But I like Samoa Joe. I like his past stuff a lot better. And I'm a Seth Rollins fan as well. And I truly expected Seth Rollins to not win this match. I thought he was going to get a beat down. We all thought last night that maybe Triple H would show up, him and Stephanie, and get involved after the last match he had with Triple H where Stephanie went put to a table. That didn't happen, didn't pan out. Maybe they're saving it for Monday Night Raw, and maybe it won't happen at all. I mean, who knows? But if anything, all they did was they exposed a way for people to beat Samoa Joe, that Coquino clutch that he puts on them. It just, run up the turnbuckle and fall back on top of it. And they'll get you a 3 count. I mean, that's how they did that. Probably could have ended it a little bit better. And plus, to top it off, there's going to be some controversy probably brought up on there tomorrow. If they're smart, they'll play the angle of this because his shoulder was up too when the referee counted.
Mm-hmm.
And it should have been in plain sight of the referee. It should have been in sight of the referee. They didn't call it. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But we'll have to see how it goes on that. Other than that, I did like the match. I would have liked it a lot better if there was a little bit more offense from Seth Rollins other than what we got out of him to make it a little bit more entertaining for me. But I don't know. I guess I give that match a solid B- for me anyway.
It wasn't a bad match, not at all. I was really expecting some sort of Seth Rollins beatdown afterwards, and we just didn't get that, and it's disheartening.
I don't know, disheartening unless you just really wanted it. I mean, if you really wanted it, I guess it would be. It makes you a very cruel person.
I'm a very cruel person.
Very cruel person. I mean, the man who's cruel to Roman Reigns all the time. I guess you're just a Shield hater. That's all.
That's right.
You're a Shield hater. You talked bad about Ambrose. You talked bad about Ambrose last night.
Yeah, the Shield, the Three Stooges of professional wrestling.
Hey, speaking of Three Stooges, what's up with the guy at the beginning on the pre-show that does that pre-show with King and Renee? He's got the big, Larry.
What is
looks
up
like Larry,
with that dude? Yeah.
Looks like Larry from the Three Stooges. I wanted to call him Porcupine all night.
I think he looks more like Teller.
You think so?
You're right. Teller from Penn and Teller, perfect.
That's what he looks like.
It is very close, yes.
He has a podcast. We're sexier than that, Chris. We should be on the pre-show with Renee and, when Booker comes back, which I wish he would just stay on Raw because, let's face it, he's better than No Tunga.
No Tunga.
Yeah, No Tunga. He just sits there and my David No Tunga, and I'm a lawyer, and I like pizza.
Sorry, that was tough.
Oh, you're awful. The last match of the night, guys. We got 11 minutes left to discuss it. Last match of the night with 11 minutes. I think we can pull this off. We got Braun Strowman, as Mike likes to call Beef, versus the Roman Empire himself, Roman Reigns. We said last night.
Piece of crap.
We said last night, there's no way in the world you can honestly put Roman Reigns over in this match because, Tim, I don't know if you read this or not, building up to, I guess, SummerSlam or something, I guess that's the next pay-per-view that Raw will take part of, right?
Yeah.
I believe it is. They're building up.
Not Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, thank goodness. That's a stupid name for a pay-per-view, but they're building up. They're building up Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. There's no way you can put Strowman as a dominant force up against Brock Lesnar if you let Roman Reigns get that win in that match. And Roman Reigns is already supposed to be injured and hurt. So I think they played the angle pretty well. He came in hurt, had his shoulder wrapped up. He was favoring the ribs, supposedly. They said he had supposedly internal injuries, although he didn't play that part off very well. But the shoulder part, he was kind of leaning toward the shoulder a little bit, favoring it. He did pretty well with that. You didn't see much of the whole spear Superman punch routine we're used to seeing. He got two Superman punches in, I think, and one spear. And normally we're about 6 punches deep midway of the match. So,
and 3 spears.
And 3 spears. But I thought they did pretty well this. They had Strowman look really strong during most of the match. Roman got his moves in to try and get the whole supposed to be babyface, once again, supposed to be a babyface comeback routine, and try and help make himself save some face there. The fans, it's like Conan said earlier on Twitter, he said he shakes his head laughing at people because no matter how many times they've tried a sympathy angle, no matter what kind of sympathy angle they've tried, fans still boo Roman Reigns to no end. There's no amount of sympathy you can try to throw on him from anybody that will make them like him at this point, I don't guess. And he says it's unbelievable to him. But I thought they played it off pretty well. It ended correctly as it should have. The actual ending of it, though, back in the back, was something. They still kind of helped Roman look strong, as he was hurt and injured, supposedly, by fending off Strowman one last time. But other than that, it ended like it should. Mike?
That was the best match of the evening, by far, bar none. Beef beat the shit out of him, and that's how it should have been. Roman Reigns can go die in a corner now, and I will be a happy man.
It's a little savage. Oh, it's just a little savage.
Okay, I think that was a mic drop, I think. Look, get it? Mic drop? Just
yes.
You're funny, man.
Roman Reigns is going to show up there and drop Mike next.
Okay.
He can happily bring himself over to the house, and I will knock him out.
So here's what will happen. Yeah. Here's what would happen. Then we're going to get to Tim real quick. Here's what would happen.
Punch the shit out of you, dude.
Yeah, exactly. He'd show up at the door, Superman punch you, the wife would go, hee, and then you're down, and he leaves, and that's it. That's all that's going to happen.
You underestimate the power of a tire tool.
Okay.
Well, according to Cornette, according to Jim Cornette, they're very strong when you hit someone in the knee with them. So I mean,
that's right.
Tim,
I'll give him the Nash treatment.
Okay, real quick, I do think that they played it out right. I actually think that they played it exactly how it should have been. Strowman looked strong. Reigns put up a fight with the whole sympathy superhero, angle thing. I think it was really well done. Something that really pisses me off though is because I don't know. Actually, you know what? If I were in Roman Reigns' position, I'd be doing the exact same thing he is because Vince McMahon is paying him a lot of money. I hate that whole "thank you, Strowman" thing. I think it's disrespectful to that man who does the best he can with what he has. I'm not a big Roman Reigns fan, but I think it's very disrespectful.
I said something similar just last week.
That.
You missed it with us last week, Tim, because last week Ray said the same thing. Ray's not really a supporter of Roman Reigns, but whenever his brother had passed away unexpectedly, people were posting things and on the internet saying, why couldn't it have been Roman Reigns?
Yeah, him and I were talking about that, yeah. Him and I were talking that day about that.
Stuff like that. I don't agree with stuff like that, really. But anyway, we got the wife. Thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. And, of course, Braun Strowman, he just completely destroyed Roman Reigns. And that's just kind of what you figured it would be. And he played true to his character. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match.
And Mike, any more cheap shots before we go past this, or did you like how it completely turned out in the back too by the ambulance and everything?
No, I did not see the back segment. I had figured it was over by then.
Well, what happened?
So
just so you know,
missed it.
They're taking him to an ambulance again. Okay. He gets to the ambulance, and Fit Finley's there with him, like, "Are you okay? We gotta get you in here. But let's get you in here." And you hear, "I'm not through with you yet." And he jumps out of the way. Roman dives to the side. Strowman runs straight through the door and knocks it off the hinges and runs into the wall behind it. He kind of bounces back off the wall a little bit, stumbles toward the back of the ambulance, and Roman takes the other door and slams it on him 3 times. So it slams into his left shoulder, basically, is what it does. 3 different times. And I think the first time was supposed to get his head, actually. That was the impression they wanted to give you. And then the last 2 hit his shoulders, and he kind of stumbled off and left. And they show Roman Reigns kind of standing there looking strong as he defended himself, but still could hardly stand up, hardly breathe, blood coming out of his mouth and everything, all this good stuff. And that's pretty much how it ended with the back segment right there. So, Beef got the victory, and Beef beat him down pretty bad, but Beef took an ambulance door supposedly to the head 3 times and took off running at that. So that's how that all ended up. I'm sure Monday they'll have a little bit more explanation, and they'll probably show it on Monday Night Raw as well.
Chris, I want to add that although the House of Stores match was absolutely positively crap, I did like the way they're making Jinder Mahal look so good against Randy Orton.
Yes.
I really loved that.
Agree.
That was brilliant. That was the only thing that saved it from being a total shit fest was that ending. You had the Bollywood boys come out. Jinder's there. They beat the crap. It's like Hindu 4 horsemen. They should call them the 4 cowsmen. They could ride in on some Brahmas and be like, "Thank you, come again." Okay, that's really racist, and Jinder is never coming on the podcast now.
I started saying now we won't get anybody, Jinder Mahal, Bollywood Boys, the Great Khali, nobody now. I mean, thanks a lot, Mike.
Like the Great Khali can speak. But anyway.
I mean, look.
Anyway, no.
Request out to the wife, could you please put a leash on this guy, please? Could you please constrain him a little bit tonight? He's going to kill us. He's going to kill the show. Oh.
I'll do what I can.
Or maybe I will enrage them so much they will want to come on the show just to curse me out on the air, and then we'll have them on the show. People will listen because they'll want to hear me be absolutely destroyed by Apu.
What's going to happen is after Roman Reigns shows up at your doorstep and Superman punches you, when you get up, Jinder Mahal's going to come from behind and hit you with a belt. Then I will have 2 WWE stars to my house. It's a win-win for me. It doesn't matter. I'm winning. I am winning.
By the way, real quick, whoever thought you'd be happy to see Jinder Mahal? Really, it's amazing how quickly things turn. I've been a fan of Jinder for a while now because I've always seen kind of what he was capable of and how good he was in the ring and stuff. Although they put him in these lame ass things. But yeah, everybody's like, yes, Jinder's here now. You're like, what?
What? Tim, I don't know if you heard our SmackDown recap we did Tuesday night or not, but the whole Jinder thing. I mean, on top of Jinder Mahal, Tuesday they did the whole Breezango thing, making them the number 1 contender for the tag belts. So
yeah,
I mean, not only are we getting a push for Jinder Mahal. The Bollywood Boys or the Singh brothers, they call them now, are now a part of that, getting a little bit extra push, looking good on themselves as well. You get, finally, Tyler Breeze and Fandango are getting to look a little bit better than what they were, not just the joke of the locker room anymore. They're getting a little bit of a push to go toward the titles and everything. I think stuff like that is great because they haven't done that in the past. And it's good to see that they are finally doing that for a change, and I'm happy for them that they're going to get a chance at least. They may not win the belts, but they'll get a shot at it, and that's the whole part of like it should be doing right now. That's what the one thing Raw has not done ever was take some of their people, like Curtis Axel, for example, or other people like that, and give them a push. Jack Swagger, Bo Dallas, none of these guys ever got that kind of a push. They got joked on and shoved back to the back of the roster, and
Swagger shots, and he just he got caught smoking the happy lettuce, and stuff.
But but he did serve his time too. He did serve his time for it, which was good. But But anyway, we're under 45 seconds. We got to start wrapping up. So guys, thanks for joining up tonight with us and doing the recap show. Everybody, go check us out on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not going to tell you where to go. I've said it a trillion times. You all know where to go. Plus, it'll be on Facebook later at Body Slam the Competition. So. Once again, we'll see you guys, I guess, tomorrow on the Raw recap for those of y'all who listen to the Raw recap, and Tuesday for the SmackDown recap. Mike, will you be with us Monday or Tuesday?
Probably not, but you never know when I'll pop in.
Well, I will send you an invite just in case, because I don't know for sure. So I'll do that for sure just in case. And we will see you guys next Sunday for sure then on the Roundtable Discussion Talk. Until then, you guys, have a great weekend.